Namaste, Jai Bharat. Today's geopolitics is filled with lies, propaganda. Many such lies and propaganda with objectives by many people. They keep making it and they get popularized. No one really cares how to what extent people believe it or not believe, but then these things keep happening. Three instances I would speak of. One is Pakistan, obviously. They continuously speak lies, maybe lesser to the world and more to their own people. That's an irony. To their own people, they tell more lies than what they tell others. Or it could otherwise be wrong. Their own people start believing in whatever they say, which is convenient to them or which is smooth on their imagination. For instance, Pakistan had always been saying that they won all four battles with Bharat. They said they won. Fact of the matter is that they didn't win any battle with Bharat at all. And if you observe objectively, it becomes instantly evident and no further explanation is really required. Then this is kind of thing they keep telling. And so much so, they teach their society like that, they teach their children like that. They say, one problem is that they know, Pakistanis know that they were a part of Bharat until 47. And then they hardly know their own history of the separatist movement, which was done by the All India Muslim League of those days, associated with many others. And they finally got an independent country which is partitioned from Bharat. So they hardly know their kind of movement towards partition. Independence, of course, Bharat was fighting independence from the British colonialization, which had to happen at some point in time, somewhere, for whatever reasons, political reasons, internationally, other kinds of geopolitics, the World War and all stories. So they can't hold on to a colony like that, especially such a large nation as Bharat. It's only because of the peaceful attitude of the Hindus that the colonization did go on for such long time. And it's again just with the peaceful attitude of the Hindus that the Mughals happened to rule Bharat for 800 years. Incidentally, one more thing I'll tell. Wherever the Islamists went, they turned the entire nation, society into their religion, Islam, which the only place which it had not worked is Bharat. So our peacefulness is on the periphery, but the kind of hardness we have inside us is demonstrated just by virtue of this fact. 800 years of Islamic rule in Bharat did not make Islam a majority religion in Bharat. That one instance is sufficient for anyone to analyze and understand how strong the people in Bharat are from within. You call it a spiritual strength or cultural strength, whatever it is, but then that is a strength. The strength of the Hindu Dharma, that also one can say, but then strength is strength. From whichever sources it comes to citizens of Bharat, it is a strength. So, this thing had been going on. And Pakistan knows very well that they have partitioned themselves from Bharat, in spite of the fact that they don't really know the background stories that happened. They think that it's at the instance of Jinnah, if Pakistan was made, and in fact, it's not at the instance of Jinnah Pakistan made. Actually, Jinnah was not for a separate Pakistan. He was not for partition. He was for the maximum benefit of Muslims within Bharat. He didn't want a partition because he knew that this nation is going to collapse in time. Because he understood things better, as I understand. You read Jinnah, you get all the stories. Their own history, their own historians, Pakistan's own historians, they wrote about it very clearly. But they don't want to believe it. Common people in Pakistan still think that it is still Qaid-e-Azam, etc. No, that's their look out, as a matter of fact. That's one thing. Then they keep telling all kinds of lies that they always win all battle from Bharat. And then another thing, they use this hatred as an instrument. They use the instrument of hating. Right from childhood, they are taught that Hindus are their enemies, Dushman, and hate Hindus. Hindu hatred is implanted into the minds of children of Pakistan right from childhood. You just find out, you just talk to any child in Pakistan and ask, how do you look at the Hindus, how do you look at the Bharat? They will immediately say, Dushman Desh hai, Kafir ko marna chahiye. These things are taught to them. Well, whatever convenience that may be done for is actually self-destructive on a long term. So that's one thing with Pakistan that lies in the seas. Another thing is Bangladesh. Bangladesh, ever since it had come under the control of Jamaat-e-Islami, now start blaming it for everything. They start blaming Bharat. The textile industry has gone down, Bharat is responsible. There are floods, Bharat is responsible. So that's very convenient to them to blame Bharat, and these kind of lies gets propagated in Bangladesh, and they keep believing that they can be next generation fighters in the emerging new world scenario, etc. They believe that something is going to happen, something is going to change. Bangladesh is the second kind of people who spreads lies and deceit. Thirdly, none other than China. China continuously made a propaganda. This is recent. Operation Sindoor. In Operation Sindoor, the Rafale fighters which Bharat procured from France did not really take part by going into the Pakistan territory at all. We have operated from well within our boundaries, so it did not cross borders. But China wanted to tell, instead of we use some decoys, we send some decoys to Pakistan to find out from which sources they are trying to fire. Or we can register the sources and to destroy them, their air defense. So we get locations like that, something we did. Some advanced technology which was developed indigenously by Bharat. Though our character is that we don't claim. We just don't speak loud that this is that, this and do, we can do this, we can do that, all those things. When it really comes to acting, we have done it. Not to show off, because no point. We are not interested in showing off, we are interested in performing when it is called for performance. So, some decoys were destroyed, and it is genuinely the case with Pakistanis. They believed that they destroyed the Rafale, because they believed that decoys were Rafales, and they genuinely believed they destroyed, and they were happy about it in the initial stages, but soon they realized that there was no question of Rafale, they were all decoys. They would not find otherwise they would have found debris. But this, of course, became a big jolt to China. On the one hand, Pakistan is using Chinese instruments, weapons, defense systems. At least 80% of what Pakistan used are from China. China gave them. Now Pakistan is blaming China that they gave inferior quality weapons to Pakistan. I don't know. That's what they say. So they received setbacks. They would never accept that they were defeated, but they received setbacks. Actually, they would say, but actually they were defeated miserably. Miserably means miserably, and they were unable to make anything happen in Bharat in spite of sending so many drones, which Turkey has supplied them in abundance. But China suddenly gets in the defensive that their weapons are proven non-effective in an actual battle. That's where the world looks at, and that's where the world gets the weapons tested for their knowledge. So Chinese weapons did not show their efficiency in a battle. On the other hand, the weapons which Bharat used, whatever, had overpowered the Chinese weapons. Now there is a difference which one should understand, which people normally ignore. The man behind a machine is very important. When an Indian sits behind the same machine and when a Pakistani sits behind the same machine, the performance differs. It depends on the efficiency of the person sitting. This I have just put a proposal, you can find out. You can test or find out for yourself. This is just a suggestion, not any claim. We have been witnessing these things for a long time. So China's weapons received setbacks. So now China wanted to prove that, primarily on this point, that they have fighters which they were selling to Pakistan and such world, and if they show that Rafale has been shot down by the weapons of China, which of course Pakistan was using, then the Rafale will not get an upper hand. Chinese weapons will get an upper hand. So they continuously posted lies in all kinds of social media, thousands of tweets that Rafale was down, or this thing happened, that thing happened. They continuously did it, and for the initially they also must have made some gain, but then in time everything got exposed. Everything got exposed, and their weapons market got down. Their stocks went down. So these kind of lies keep happening in the world, and what we can do is just take things with a pinch of salt. Do not buy what others say, however glamorously and however colorfully one speaks to you. Take it with a pinch of salt. Do not buy it at once until you know it for yourselves, until you find out for yourselves to what extent this narrative can be or is or shall be correct or near correct. So we shall meet again with some other thought. Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Shri Ram.